Hello everyone, welcome to Nomadic Flex Fitness. Today we're going to be talking about how you can get fit, get strong, get jacked, even if you don't have a gym membership. Nowadays, gym equipment can be pretty expensive as well as your average gym membership. So today we're going to be looking at 4 different categories in order to achieve those fitness goals while at home with zero equipment. The first category we're looking at today is our push movements. That's going to be our chest, our shoulders, and our triceps, focusing on the upper body first. So the first movement is, well, simply a push-up. It's going to involve you going to the ground, placing those arms out, shoulder width apart, dropping the body down nice and low, keeping our elbows on top of the wrist, and driving up from there. Really trying to focus that squeeze on the chest. Now you can angle those arms in towards you to get an extra burn on the triceps, or you can bring those arms out a little wider in order to achieve more chest work. In order to hit the shoulders, we're gonna need to elevate the rear end of our body up into the air to work the shoulders. So something of a handstand. We're looking to bring our toes into the floor, hips are going straight up in the sky. We're pointing our head down, and then we're gonna do exactly what we did with the push-up and drop the head down instead of the chest. Still driving through the palms of our hands and still looking for that squeeze, but this time it's gonna be on the tops of the shoulders and maybe a little bit on the triceps as well. Now I know I said that there was no equipment needed, but a little bit goes a long way. So if you can get your hands on a chair that's nice and sturdy, or a box, or in my case here, I even have a cooler. I'm sure everybody's got a Coleman cooler lying around. We can make these movements a lot easier or a lot more difficult. Starting on push-ups from the ground can be tough. We can always drop to the knees, but another good option is put our hands on an elevated platform above us so that we don't have to go down all the way to the floor. We can go to our elevated platform of it. Bring our hips right next to the edge, and then all we're gonna do is drop at the elbows and drive up through the hands, really trying to get that isolated squeeze on the back side of the arms. And like I said, a chair, a box, a cooler, anything that you can find that's nice and sturdy will really help you out. Movements out of the way, let's focus on the pull now. Pull can be really tough to do at home with no equipment, but there's a couple ways that we can try to work around that. So the first one being a Superman. We're gonna bring our body all the way down to the floor. And from here, we want to bring our chest and arms and feet up off the ground. Now here, we're already getting a lot of lower back work. We're getting some upper back work, but all we're gonna do, fly through the air like we're Superman, push those palms out front and drive those elbows back into the body, really getting that good squeeze on the upper back. For a Superman variation would be snow angels or handcuffs, or lots of different names for them, but arms are starting out in front just like the Supermans. All we're gonna do is bring those arms back and around behind us, flip the palms up and bring the hands together above the glutes there, all right? Like we're putting on those handcuffs. Arms coming all the way in front, and we're flying them back and around. The whole time, trying to keep the chest and shoulders tall and the feet off the ground. Now, if there's one piece of gym equipment, I didn't have anything, and I was gonna buy one thing, I would buy a set of fitness bands. These are super versatile and pretty affordable. So a couple options we can go through if you do have some sort of fitness band. It's gonna be a banded row to hit the upper back and build a little progression there. That band is gonna go up and around the base of our feet, all right? And from here, we're just gonna grab 2 hands on the band, thumbs pointed down, chest out, shoulders back, and drive those elbows behind you, getting that really powerful squeeze in the upper back. Another awesome thing that we can do with just this band is gonna be our banded curls, another difficult body part to hit with just our body weight movements. So 2 feet are gonna go inside that band. We're grabbing the band on the outside with our thumbs pointed up, tuck our elbows next to us, stand up nice and tall, and curl that band up. Really trying to focus that squeeze on the front of our arms, making sure we're getting a full stretch on the way down and really working that muscle mind. Moving on to our lower body weight movements that we can do with no equipment is gonna be 4 different movements. We have a squat, a jump, a lunge, and a bridge. So first things first, our squat. We need our feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna widen that stance just a little bit, and then what we're gonna do is sink our hips back and away, trying to keep the knees right on top of the feet as we sink our hips away. Really focusing on keeping the chest and shoulders tall so that they're leading the way all the way up and all the way down. And as you stand up out of that movement, focus the squeeze on the back of the glutes, pushing the hips forward, and on the front of the legs, squeezing the knees in. The squat mastered, we can move into a more difficult version, which is going to be our jump. We're going to do the same exact thing, loading up that squat, and as we come out of it all the way to the top, we're going to explode off the ground, land soft right back into our squat. So we squat, and we jump, and we squat, and we jump. And this is going to provide a really good overload on the quads and the glutes. Now, that's not all we can do. We can always do our forward jump and our backward jump to help work a little more of the stabilizers in our ankles. Say you're an athlete or something like that and you need to be able to move really quickly. That's going to do a great job strengthening all the areas around the ankles and the knees. Legs is the lunge. These lunges can go front, they can go back, they can go out to the side, they can even be elevated back behind you, but all of them serve the same purpose, and that is making you stronger. So forward lunge, big step forward. We want to drop that body weight straight down onto the back leg, back knee towards the floor. We're driving off of the front heel as you stand on up, and then we're dropping right back down into that lunge. Now you can do them standing in the same position, or you can do them alternating, where we're switching feet every time. Now if there's any knee pain, where you're dealing with any soreness, stiffness, that reverse lunge is going to be a little bit nicer to all those joints and ligaments. So we have the forward lunge, the backward lunge. Now let's move into a couple more difficult lunges to help get you stronger. First one's gonna be our lateral lunge, so going side to side. We're looking to stand up nice and tall. We're gonna take a step straight out to the side, so we're now a wide stance. We are going to be bending the leg that we stepped out, keeping our first leg nice and straight. So sinking those hips back and away, feeling that stretch on the inside. As we come up, matching those feet back together, and then we just switch sides. Big step out, step leg gets the bend, standing leg stays straight, and drive all the way back to our center. We're going to be the Bulgarian split squat, or the rear foot elevated squat. So all we need is some sort of elevated platform. I have here my trusty cooler. All we're doing is taking one leg, we're gonna elevate it up onto that platform. Same thing as always, chest and shoulders stay tall. We drop that back knee straight down, feel that stretch, and feel that squeeze. You can target the back of the legs, the hamstrings, and the glutes is gonna be a glute bridge. So we're gonna lie ourselves flat down on the ground. We're looking to keep our shoulder blades nice and flat, plant our feet solid, raise those hips, find that squeeze, and relax it back down. Now lots of options here. We can plant one foot and raise the other one up for a little added difficulty. We can also walk those feet away from us and bring those hips up for a little added tension on the hamstrings. Certainly not least, in order to support our upper body and our lower body moving in tandem, we need to have a solid core, a midline structure. So for our core, we have three big things that we can look at. That's an L-sit, that's a leg raise, and that is a plank. That first option we have is our V-sit or L-sit. It's exactly like it sounds. We're bringing our body out wide, we're bringing our legs up off the ground, and we're just holding in this position. Now from here, there's all sorts of variations you can do. You can alternate the heel touches, you can go both feet at the same time, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, whatever you would like to help increase that difficulty. Leg raise and leg lower. This is really awesome for help training the arch out of our low back and keeping it flat to the mat, really focusing on rotating the hips in towards us. We're gonna be bringing our feet straight up in the air, pointing our heels, low back is pushed through the floor, and slow and controlled, we're looking to lower the legs down, keeping contact to the floor with our low back. We don't let our legs touch, we use our palms and we drive those legs right back up, and we feel that burn already, all right? If you wanna bring this one up in difficulty, all we gotta do is throw a hip lift at the top, drive those hips, and get that extra squeeze in the core. That we're gonna be looking at today is arguably one of the most versatile bodyweight movements. It's the plank. There's so many options, there's so much variety, you can always change it up, but it is so functional and so good for strengthening that midline as well as our shoulders. So 2 hands right down on the mat, bring our feet back into our high plank position. We have our body nice and straight. We don't want our hips up, we don't want them down, we want that straight line. From here, shoulders are stacked on top of the elbows, and this is where we can start to have some fun. We can shoot forward, we can shoot back, we can throw in those Sphinx push-ups, we can alternate side to side, or if the elbows are feeling it today, we can always go into our high plank position where we're using the hands instead of the elbows. Play around with that one, it's a lot of fun. There's so much you can do with it, but with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, hope this helps you out. All right, if it did, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all those things that I would appreciate. So get out there, have a great day. Off the ground.